show and tell with something just a little bit different today. This is a Glock 48 MOS. I've had this gun for, I don't know, a couple years. I feel like it was close to whenever the 48 came out. I'm terrible at keeping track of dates. And probably total round count is not a ton, maybe 2,000 rounds, something like that. So I mean, it's been shot some, but it's not a gun I train with a ton, obviously, just due to size, and there's other guns that get more of my attention. But this gun has been known to accompany me from time to time, and I just want to talk through how the gun's set up in my experience. Up until, I don't know, a month ago, it was iron sights. So just Dawson black rear sight, and then a fiber optic front sight. This thing's zeroed at, I don't know, 20 yards, something like that. Be able to shoot like a fist-sized group. So the gun's good to go as far as zeroing goes. And for trigger, I put an Apex trigger shoe in it, but the rest of the internals are completely stock. So all it is just a flatter, wider trigger. Easier to press the trigger straight back, but it's still a factory heavy trigger. Mag release button, of course, got reversed because left-handed stuff. And the light is a Streamlight TRL7 sub. This is, I believe, it doesn't say on here, but I believe this is the A model or the Alpha model. I think the paddles were different, but anyway, a little paddle in the back to activate the light. So, like I said, had this gun for a few years, shot it a decent amount. I don't remember this thing ever jamming. It's been awesome. And then, well, recently I was thinking, man, the future is now. I should put a red dot on this because, you know, why not? So, Holosun was nice enough to send me this. This is an, it's EPS Carry. I don't think there's any specific model other than that. I think it's just EPS Carry with the red dot. So this is a enclosed emitter, similar to that 509T I have, only just a little bit smaller. Oh, and then it's got the solar thing on top also, but it's Holosun, so I'm going to leave this thing on forever, and I'm never going to have an issue. The only thing I did do was put a witness mark on the battery cap, just in case it would start to walk out. For mounting the optics, this is a calculated kinetics plate. I should have grabbed the, I think I still have it downstairs somewhere. Should have grabbed the slip that it came with. I was super impressed. So on the slip that came with the plate, the bags were in two different colors, I think red and green. And then the instructions with it were red and green also. So you basically just read, like, you're using this optic, use this color bag, this optic, this color bag. It's all sandwiched together just with two screws. So take the little cap off from the MOS, the plate sits on it, then the dot, then the two screws go through the top that hold everything together. Then I just use a paint pen to witness mark them, just because it's nice to keep an eye on such things in case they would be backing out. And of course, they had specifications for torquing with them, so use a driver for that. And then blue Loctite, because that's the stuff I like. So anyway, that's the setup. Shooting this thing, well, at first I was a little bit hesitant because I thought it's a smaller dot, and I thought, man, I'm going to exaggerate, but if your draw is off a little bit, you're not going to find the dot in the window. This is the only gun I own with iron sights on it and a dot, so that was kind of fun also. But my initial thought was just, well, the dot's smaller. How much issue will I have finding the dot from a draw, low ready, something like that? And, well, maybe not surprising to you, but I was pleasantly surprised, I guess, or didn't really know what to expect. It wasn't really an issue at all. It was uneventful. Basically, having an index so I could just look at the spot, and if I were to close my eyes, the sight would just go to where I was looking, and I could just look over or open my eyes, and the dot would be there. Kind of that ability, which of course a lot of indexing is looking at a spot and bringing the sight to where you're looking. But having a strong enough index where I could just point the gun and have the sight show up where I looked made this thing, it wasn't a big deal at all. The dot does leave the window, especially when shooting hotter ammo or 115 grain bullets. So the dot sometimes leaves the window, but if I keep staring at the point I want to hit, it comes right back. As far as zeroing it, the other thing that was kind of fun was, since I knew that the irons were zeroed, all I did was just move the mechanical adjustments in the sight to line up with the iron sights. If I sit there and just hold it and make sure equal height, equal light, and all that kind of junk, and more or less when I went to the range. I adjusted it just slightly, but it was basically there. So, I'm sure people are aware of that, but that was kind of a fun trick too. So, overall, I was pleasantly surprised. I already liked this gun anyway. The only downside to this Glock 48 is just how much real estate there is. So this is an example of a gun that is too small for my hands, but the size might be preferable. So I get my firing hand around it. There's just not a ton of real estate. So it's a little bit tougher to have the meaty part of my support hand make contact with the gun and really, keep both my hands on the gun together where the gun's not separating from my grip or looking something like that. I'm exaggerating while you're firing. So anyway, I think that's it. But like I said, this is a gun I'll keep shooting quite a bit. So I'm sure I'll have stuff to follow up with in the future. But so far, I don't know, maybe 500 rounds since putting the dot on it. No issues with the plate coming loose. Battery cap has not moved. The little screw for that. And it's just fun, honestly. I'm always surprised with how capable a smaller gun like this is. Adding the red dot just makes it even easier to shoot. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful. If you're thinking about putting a red dot on a small pistol, I probably should have done it before now, but I would not try to talk you out of it at all. I think it's pretty handy, and then of course it just adds capability because the dot's going to be easier to shoot at distance fast and junk like that. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful. If you have any questions, drop them below.